Splits, practically the tie of baseball series. You win some, you lose some, and well, right now the Brewers and Cardinals are neck and neck, a perfect 6-6 against each other. No one has the advantage yet to this point, and you're not going to see each other again until after the trade deadline, after August 2nd. These two teams could look very different, or they're going to look the same. But right now, we know they are very evenly matched. Let's talk about the Brewers salvaging the finale against the Cardinals and get ready for these Blue Jays coming to town next.
You are Locked On Brewers, your daily Milwaukee Brewers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Good morning. It's Friday, June 24th. This is Locked On Brewers, your only daily podcast dedicated to the Milwaukee Brewers all season long. We post episodes Monday through Friday right here wherever you get your podcasts and the video version on our YouTube page. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button wherever you may be listening. I'm Dominic Cotroneo. I'm the statistician for Valley Sports Wisconsin, bringing you all the news and nuggets you want to know about the crew this season. By the way, today is the first day the Brewers are wearing their City Connect jerseys on the field. You will see the Brew crew in the awesome colors, the powder blues and the gold. Great jerseys on the field tonight against the Blue Jays. Before we jump into today's episode, I want to remind you that today's episode is brought to you by our friends at BlueNile.com. For all your fine jewelry needs, head to BlueNile.com today. Brewers win 6-4. They salvage it. They go 2-2 in the series against the Cardinals. Okay, I mean, was it great? No. Was it stressful at times? Yes. But at the end of the day, you didn't lose any ground, despite I think everyone's saying the Brewers still have not played their best baseball, despite all the injuries, especially on the pitching staff. I think yesterday was a great picture of what they're dealing with on the pitching side of things. Obviously, Jason Alexander has been performing well enough for what's being asked out of him, but having him work into the sixth inning and not having that bridge from the sixth to the seventh, which is why they were going to Brad Boxberger as opposed to a Miguel Sanchez. Remember, they used Hobie Milner for 2 innings, or into 2 innings on Wednesday night, so they weren't going to use Hobie in back-to-back fashions like that. Trevor Kelly was great on Wednesday as well, so Miguel Sanchez, they stayed away from him. You obviously don't have Trevor Gott right now. You don't have Gustave right now, and that's why they were trying to squeeze multiple innings out of Brad Boxberger to get 4 outs, which he got the job done. Nearly didn't. We're going to get into the recap here in just a second. But that bridge is what's absent right now, in addition to Jason Alexander having to grind into the sixth inning. But hey, this is not his fault. He did well enough to earn the win in this game as the Brewers get it 6-4. Alexander gets his second big league win. It's not how you start, it's how you finish, right? Because that first inning was maybe the worst inning of the year, at least in a while, for the Brewers, especially defensively. I want to go through the quick game recap. 3 big plays. We do this in close games. 3 big plays you may have forgotten about. Tell you about the season or the series notes, updates from the minor leagues in Appleton as Brandon Woodruff and Trevor Gott and Mike Brasso played yesterday in rehab assignment out with the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers up in Appleton. So updates on that and get you ready for these Blue Jays coming in for the weekend. First and foremost, as I just said a moment ago, the Brewers, it's not how you start, how you finish. But the way this series has gone, we've said it a couple of times now. Going into yesterday, the team that scored first, head-to-head between the Brewers and the Cardinals, was 11-0. The team that scored first, it sounds so simple. There have been times that teams have tied it up and taken even the lead if you look at Wednesday night's game. But the team that scored first has ultimately prevailed in this season series. And the Brewers managed to buck that trend yesterday. Of course, that first inning was absolutely no fun at all. You look at the first inning, you get the out for Tommy Edman, but then Jason Alexander runs into a brick wall. Gorman manages a single. Goldschmidt's double started the chaos. A double down a left field line. They try to get the relay in to get Gorman, who was trying to score from first on this double from Goldie. Adames' throw hits Gorman as he's sliding into home, so it kicks away from the catcher, Caratini. That allows Goldschmidt to try to advance to third, and as he's doing so, Jason Alexander, who's backing up the play, picks up the baseball and slings it toward third base. It misses everybody, but the worst part was it misses 2 backup guys. Not only did it miss Adames on the backup, it also missed the left fielder McCutchen on the backup. So the fact that the Brewers just completely botched that one made you feel like, oh my goodness, is this really happening right now? And then to follow that up, a Nolan Arenado double, and that made the run earned. But now you got, a runner on second, 1 out, 2 runs already in on a Little League home run for Paul Goldschmidt. And then he hits Brendan Donovan with a 2-strike pitch on the big toe. Panic was setting in. I could sense the uneasiness in American Family Field. Over 32,000 strong were on hand yesterday. It was an awesome crowd. That was just not ideal. But then the huge double play. Jason Alexander, a ground ball pitcher, gets the double play by Juan Yepes to get out of the inning without further damage. So you feel like a kind of a win that you only scored 2 runs, or allowed 2 runs. Despite that Little League home run, things were kind of getting out of hand there for a second in the first. And once again, for the second straight day, the Brewers punched right back, getting a run in the bottom of the first inning. Christian Yelich led off with a double to right center field. Hold your jokes about where was that on Wednesday night. He scores on Rowdy Tellez's groundout since the infield was back. Situational hitting. They got the job done. Fast forwarding now, it's 2-1 still. Brewers in the 4th inning lead off with an infield single from Andrew McCutchen. Luis Urias draws a walk, puts runners on first and second for Victor Caratini. He works a great at-bat. He's been working great at-bats as of late. 7 pitches in this one, base hit into right field. Jason Lane sends Andrew McCutchen around third to try and score, and Lars Nootbaar showed off his cannon for an arm, fires home. Kutch tried to score standing up. I believe it was part of the body fake there by Ivan Herrera that he had McCutchen faked out like, oh, the body language says I'm not going to receive this ball. This is going to be way too late. Then surprise, tag, and they got him when Kutch was trying to get in standing up. Tyrone Taylor is clearly trying to tell him to get down, and he didn't get down. So he gets tagged out after the challenge. So they still are waiting for the tying run. And Tyrone Taylor strolls to the plate and releases the pressure, a 3-run homer to give the Brewers a 4-2 lead. The reason why I say releases the pressure, because in the previous half inning, the Brewers had the bases loaded and nobody out and didn't score a run. It was so tense in that dugout, especially with Adames and Tellez being the guys coming up to kill that rally. Adames struck out, and then Tellez ended up grounding into an inning-ending double play. There was a pure stress ball, just absolute, tighten your jaw, tense up in your neck, white knuckle fist. Like, are you kidding me? They can't get it done right now. In the end, the Brewers finished 3 for 28 in this series with runners in scoring position. That includes Tyrone's hit there to hit the 3-run homer, and it, of course, includes Caratini's single that didn't actually produce a run. Those are the only 2 hits in the game yesterday with a runner in scoring position for the Brewers. One didn't produce a run, and the other was a homer, which leads to the overall series note. 12 of their 15 runs this series came via home run. It's not sustainable having that much of your offense reliance on the home run. The Brewers, I went on this rant in yesterday's podcast about you're asking to go get a bat when in reality the Brewers just need to perform better with runners in scoring position, which that's easy to say. I'm sitting here in my studio talking about the fact that, just hit better with runners in scoring position. It's not that easy, but that's just the truth. That's why I'm really believing the Brewers aren't going to be making a big splash for an offensive bat here coming up at the deadline. Got back and forth, though. It's a 4-2 game. Lars Nootbaar hit a solo homer, though, in response in the top of the 5th. Adames kicks right back to that with the home run at the bottom of the 5th inning. So it's once again 5-3. And then the Brewers allowed a sac fly in the 7th inning. That made it 5-4, so it was tightened up again. And then in the 8th inning, a Jace Peterson sacrifice fly. That made it 6-4, which was the final. Williams and Hader slammed the door in the final 2 innings of this one. Boxberger pitched well enough, and he got 4 outs, which is exactly what Brewers asked of him. They used all 3 of the big 3. Great work. Just great work for all around. Brewers get the win. They get the split. They survive and feel a little bit better about things. Let's talk about 3 big plays from this game that you may have forgotten about. Before we do that, I want to tell you about our presenting sponsor, BlueNile.com. You can make your moment shine with all the simple online tools at BlueNile.com. You can be ready to pop the question, perhaps, or you're celebrating a milestone moment. You get the modern convenience of online shopping and the experts in fine jewelry at BlueNile.com. Look, they've got experts on hand 24/7 via phone or chat to help you find a memorable gift at any budget and any occasion. They're the original online jeweler. Since 1999, they've helped millions of couples create their perfect engagement ring, and they're committed to ensuring the highest ethical standards are observed when sourcing their diamonds and jewelry. And if it's not perfect, no problem at all. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. You can shop stress-free with guaranteed free shipping and returns with our great offer. They want to make it easy for you at BlueNile.com. So Locked On Brewers listeners are going to get $50 off any purchase of $500 or more. This is a podcast exclusive, and it includes engagement rings. Use the code LOCKEDON. That's it. All one word. Locked On. And every order's insured, it ships for free, and it arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. Shop stress-free and find your forever piece. Go to BlueNile.com today. We're also brought to you by, of course, BetOnline, your number one source for all your betting needs and sports information. I saw they had some stuff up there for updated playoff odds right now for Major League Baseball. They had, of course, NBA draft stuff going on yesterday. I am recording this in the middle of the draft, so if Kyrie Irving is traded, you know before me. I saw Johnny Davis got selected by the Wizards, so shout out to him. But for overall updated MLB playoff chances, the Brewers right now, they're still right about where they were earlier in the season. Preseason, they were 5 out of 14. This year, right now, they're 2 out of 7. So it's pretty likely they're going to make the postseason. That's how they feel. You can get a plus 275 if you're a hater and you want to say no. But you can find all that stuff at betonline.net for all your scores, podcasts, and news. They got MMA, boxing, golf, all your favorite sports at BetOnline, where the game starts. 3 big plays you may have forgotten about in this contest. First and foremost, Jason Alexander pitched well enough to earn this win. You were asking a 29-year-old rookie to face ridiculous all-stars in Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado, a white-hot rookie in Nolan Gorman, Albert Pujols lurking on the bench. It's a tall order, and for a ground ball pitcher, a guy that does not strike out a ton of guys, to face a team that doesn't strike out a lot. He also got 5 strikeouts in this game, which was kind of surprising. So he got the job done in that regard. But the first big play that I want to get to is we fast forward to the 5th inning. In the 5th inning, the Brewers are now in a 1-run game thanks to the solo homer by Lars Nootbaar. Okay, it's 4-3 at this time in the 5th inning. He gets Herrera to strike out swinging. Then he gets Tommy Edman to strike out looking. Now he's tangled into a deep count with Nolan Gorman, who's 2 for 2 to this point in the game. Gorman, on the 7th pitch of the at-bat, ends up grounding out on a full count pitch to end the inning. Why is that significant? Because he was getting ready to see Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado for a 3rd time through in what would have been a runner on base. I think back to something we talked about in the Padres series when Jake Cronenworth was starting to go off for the Padres. And Bill Schroeder made the great point saying Jake Cronenworth has got the best seat in the house hitting in front of Manny Machado because they want to throw him strikes knowing Machado is right behind him and they don't want to give him a run-scoring opportunity. Same thing applies here with Nolan Gorman. Goldschmidt and Arenado hitting behind you, they got to make sure they get you out. They got to make sure they throw you strikes. And if you're wondering, well, wouldn't that make things harder for the hitter that they want to throw me strikes and want to throw me their best stuff? It works both ways in that you have to come into the zone. You got to come into my kitchen for me to hit it. It's the beauty of baseball, right? It's this song and dance that we do. You got to come into my zone. I got to have a chance to swing at this thing. So Gorman already had 2 hits in this game. He had a great series. Gorman ended up going 6 for 15 in the series to lead all Cardinal hitters. 2 homers, of course, both of those coming on Tuesday night. It's really impressive what he's been doing against the Brewers' 2 4-hit games, obviously. For Alexander to wiggle off that hook, also in his 3rd time seeing Gorman in this game, that was a huge game that I had, a huge play that I had circled in my scorebook. The second of the big plays that we're going over from this series, or this game anyway, is actually a pair of plays, but it revolves around the same guy. It revolves around Nolan Arenado. If you noticed, Nolan Arenado was the designated hitter yesterday. He did not play defensively. The Platinum Glove Award winner, the best defender in baseball. And I'm saying that with a 100% straight face. Nolan Arenado is the best defender in baseball. If you think otherwise, pull up a chair, because I'm going to tell you why. Because that dude, we've seen it. We've seen plenty of it. Nolan Arenado had the day off from defense. And there were 2 plays that his absence made a difference. So with Brendan Donovan playing third base in this game, I look to the fourth inning, Andrew McCutchen reaching on an infield single on a ball that was thrown a little wide from Donovan. Kutch was hustling up the line, but a good throw would have got him. Arenado makes that play, I think, 9 times out of 10. Donovan made it look like a tough play for him. And then later on, McCutchen again in the 8th inning. He hits a sharp 2-hopper toward third. It was ruled a base hit, but it ate up Donovan. I keep saying Gorman. Ate up Donovan at third base. You're telling me Nolan Arenado's not going to make that play? Of course he's going to make that play. It's Nolan Arenado. And Kutch ends up scoring a key insurance run in that 8th inning. Not that it mattered with Josh Hader lurking in the wings. But in the 4th inning, the leadoff man aboard, he tried to score, didn't score, getting thrown out by Lars Nootbaar. And then there in the 8th inning, the insurance run eventually comes down to score. Because Nolan Arenado, in my opinion, because he wasn't in the game, that might have saved a run. At least one run for sure. Could have saved maybe a couple more if you get the out to open up that 4th inning. Who knows how the rest of that 4th inning goes when the Brewers ended up taking the lead and never letting go of it. So that's my second big play, was technically before the game even started when Oli Marmol didn't put Nolan Arenado on the lineup card. Third big play, and this is maybe the biggest one that we've all forgotten about, is the double play induced by Jason Alexander to Nolan Arenado in the 3rd inning. Think back to that 3rd inning. Brewers, they're within run. It's 2-1, and Arenado's coming up with with 1 out, and runners on first and second. Gorman just managed a single. Alexander wanted nothing to do with Paul Goldschmidt. He walks him on 4 pitches, and Arenado's coming up, fresh off of a double into right center field. And now you're thinking, oh my goodness, here we go. This is the moment. This is the moment. Can he find a way to wiggle off of this? Even if you let Arenado just get a base hit and load the bases, you live to fight another day, you take your chances with Donovan. But the fact that he got him to roll into a 5-4-3 double play, Jace Peterson started both double plays today for the Brewers. Again, great defender. That play signaled a spark of confidence for Jason Alexander because he rolled for the rest of the way. Aside from the Nootbaar homer, he didn't allow another base runner until that 6th inning when things got tough and Boxberger had to come in and clean things up. For the Brewers to get out of that inning, that second time through after the ugly 1st inning, I think allowed Alexander to get into the 6th inning in this game. And while the Brewers didn't pay it off, of course, loading the bases with nobody out in the 3rd, it gave them the confidence that they could get some base runners against Dakota Hudson, which they eventually broke through in the 4th inning. So those are my big 3 plays. My last little honorable mention, though, on the sac fly by Juan Yepes, remember to deep left field, McCutchen made a great running catch on that one. That it scored Goldschmidt, but it kept Arenado at second base at the time. It's an honorable mention just because I don't think Arenado would have been tagging normally if he was underneath the baseball, given the ball is to left field. But the fact that McCutchen sold out to make sure he made that play on the run, great play, instead of it being a 2-run double and giving up the lead, don't forget about that good moment of defense for Andrew McCutchen playing left field while Christian Yelich was the DH. Overall, mentioned Gorman going 6 for 15, leading the Cardinals. Arenado also had 6 hits. He went 6 for 16. He had 4 doubles in this series. We only had 1 strikeout. It was the one when he was screaming and yelling, walking away from the box, striking out on a check swing from Corbin Burns on Monday night. That is an elite hitter right there. And it felt like Paul Goldschmidt did a lot more than just going 2 for 9 with 3 walks, but it's because he had a double and a home run, of course. Nolan Gorman, we mentioned him. Willy led the way for the Brewers. He went 4 for 13 with 2 homers, including the one yesterday. Andrew McCutchen went 4 for 14, but really nobody else was hitting over 220 in this series. The Brewers did just enough to survive against the Cardinals. You're not going to see the Cardinals again until August 12th in St. Louis. You go to St. Louis 2 more times, and they come here on the final homestand of the year. So not many more games head-to-head with these guys. A 3-game weekend series in St. Louis in 2 months, and then 2 midweek 2-gamers in September, in mid-September, and late September. Not much time with 7 games to go. Who will be the season winner of the series? Because remember, there are no more Game 163s. If these 2 teams are tied at the end of the year in record, it comes down to the season series. So they play an odd number of games for a reason. You got 7 to go. Who cares that you're 6-6? It is now an NLCS. It is a 7-game series to decide who is going to have that key tiebreaker in case the Cardinals and Brewers are tied on the last day of the season. You don't see them again for 2 months. Lots going to change between now and then. So keep that in mind, that those 7 games are all highlighted in bright yellow highlighter on your schedules right now, because those are going to be the biggest games of the year. Let's get ready for the Blue Jays. I want to give you a quick update on the guys down in the minors on their rehab assignments. Before we do that, LinkedIn is helping small businesses grow and make it easier than ever to find the right hires for their jobs. LinkedIn Jobs is going to make it easier, faster, and free to help you find the people that you want to interview. You can create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs, and you'll reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network. 810 million people are on LinkedIn, y'all. I'm on LinkedIn. You're on LinkedIn. You can see who is hiring so easily. They've got this purple hashtag hiring frame that you can see instantly. Oh, hey, that's a company I want to work for. Let's see what positions they have open. You will spread the word so fast with LinkedIn Jobs. They got simple tools when you do finally find the candidates you want to talk to. Screening questions, they make it easy to focus on the candidates with skills and experience to make sure that you can prioritize who you want to hire. So LinkedIn Jobs is going to help you find the candidates you want to talk to and faster. Look, they have traffic. Over 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn every single week. You can post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonmlb. linkedin.com/lockedonmlb to post your job for free, and terms and conditions apply. Update on the guys in the minor leagues. I started recording as soon as Brandon Woodruff was exited from the game. Brandon Woodruff was scheduled to throw about 70 pitches up in Appleton yesterday, and he got the job done. 74 pitches. He threw a total of 48 of them for strikes, 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. It was a solo homer, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts for Brandon Woodruff. Trevor Gott also got into this game. Gott only threw 12 pitches, 3 up, 3 down. He had a strikeout against the Quad Cities River Bandits, the Royals affiliates in this one. Mike Brasso also played in this game. Brasso batted second, and he was a designated hitter. Brasso ends up going 2 for 4 with a single and a double, so he could be on the way back too. Good news in that regard on the health front for the Brewers. So that's the quick update there. It sounds like, again, I'm recording this without the post-game sound from Brandon Woodruff yet, but it sounds like he's going to be arriving some point next week on the road trip when the Brewers go to Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh. Sunday is listed as a TBA starter. That will not be Brandon Woodruff. Let's be 100% clear. That will not be Brandon Woodruff. In all likelihood, it would be Chichi Rodriguez, unless they decide to call somebody else up. But in all likelihood, it would be Chichi to make that start on Sunday against the Blue Jays, unless they decide to go with a bullpen day for some other reason. By the way, the T-Rats run that game. Just went final as we're recording. 3-1. Shout out to the T-Rats. Woodruff gets the win. Fun fact, Brandon Woodruff actually skipped Appleton on his way through the minor league system. He actually skipped Appleton when it was a low-A affiliate back in the day with the Brewers, and went to Brevard County down with the Manatees in Florida before all the rearrangement. And Zebulon came into the fold in the Carolina Mudcats, and now Wisconsin's a high-A team. We can talk about the minor leagues another day, but good to hear that everything seemed like it went off without a hitch for Brandon Woodruff. Trevor Gott also made an appearance, so those guys are on their way back here to Milwaukee soon. Blue Jays, man, really good team. They got to enjoy the off day in beautiful Milwaukee yesterday. They are coming in with a 39-30 record. They are chasing the Yankees in the East. Of course, the Yankees are running away with things right now, but they're still in the wild card hunt. Of course, they are the leaders in the American League wild card. They're a half game up on the Boston Red Sox. They're coming in a little colder. They have only won 4 of their last 10 games. They just had a heck of a battle this past week with the Yankees up north. And looking at the rest of their schedule right now, the Blue Jays, they obviously the East is super loaded, as we know, but they're in a really tough stretch of playoff contenders. They had the 3 games at home against the Yankees. Then they just had 3 games down on the south side against the White Sox. Now they got these 3 games this weekend against the Brewers. Then they go back home for 3 with the Red Sox and home for 4 with the Rays before they finally get a breather going out west with the A's and the Mariners. So they're in the stretch of about a month straight of playing playoff teams. So see how they react to that. Again, they're only 4 of their last 10 games have been wins. They do hit the ball harder than anybody. They have the highest hard hit percentage of anybody in baseball. Of course, Vlad Jr. is one of the superstars of our game. The Blue Jays, looking at their leading hitters and things of that nature. Right now, the man leading the way is their catcher, Alejandro Kirk. What a season he is having. He's hitting .307. He's leading catchers in the American League in All-Star voting. 8 homers, a .395 on base, and .882 OPS as the backstop. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. is hitting .279. Then you've got Vlad Jr. He's hitting .264. He's got 17 bombs to lead the way for the Blue Jays. He's slugging .500 on the dot. He's drawn 34 walks still. Extremely patient to lead them in that regard as well. George Springer has played really the entire season. He's been healthy for the most part. He's played 63 of the 69 games. He's got 13 homers, one of the best leadoff hitters in baseball. Going to be dangerous to attack him. Matt Chapman's been a slow starter. He's got 9 homers and 11 doubles, but he's only hitting .214 with a .300 on-base percentage for the Blue Jays. Of course, they acquired him this past offseason from the A's. The pitching, though, the Brewers are getting the brunt of it right now for the pitching staff. They're seeing their big three, Alek Manoah, Yusei Kikuchi, and Jose Berrios. Manoah, an early candidate for American League Cy Young. Obviously, Garrett Cole's doing some amazing things right now, but Manoah's 8-2 with a 2.00 ERA. In the American League East, y'all, this is insane. The numbers that this kid's putting up. Fastball, it's heavy. It's got velo behind it as well. Looking at the ERA leaderboard, he is currently in 6th place in all of baseball, only trailing Shane McClanahan and Martin Perez in the American League. Shane McClanahan, I should mention him in the AL Cy Young race. So Manoah gets the ball against Adrian Hauser here tonight. Hauser is 4-7, a 4.24 ERA. Really going to try to get him going because, look, he's going to be a key point. Him and Lauer are that key second unit for the Brewers. When you think of Burns and Woodruff, you need these guys just as much as you need those first two guys because Freddie Peralta's on the shelf for a little while longer here, guys. You got to look at Hauser and Lauer as your experienced guys to deliver quality starts. I'm not saying they got to go 7 shutout every single time, but keep the Brewers competitive. And Craig Counsell had the great quote after yesterday's game that Jason Alexander has given the Brewers a chance to win every single time he has pitched this season. So Hauser's just going to try to find that mold to move forward in the season, facing a very tough opponent in the Blue Jays. 7:10 start tonight, and then tomorrow, early start. It's summertime, 3:10 first pitch. Plan your tailgates accordingly. Yusei Kikuchi, 2-3 record, a 4.94 ERA against Corbin Burns, Saturday afternoon baseball. He is 5-4 at 2.31 ERA. Mind you, Corbin Burns has his bobblehead on Sunday, so he'll pitch the day before. That'll be a lot of fun. And then, obviously, Jose Berrios will get the ball on Sunday, as we mentioned a moment ago. My pick for AL Cy Young in the preseason has not pitched like it. 5-3 record, a 5.11 ERA, and the Brewers is currently TBA at this point. Brewers are now 40-32 in a tie for first in the Central. The Blue Jays are 39-30, 2 playoff caliber teams going at it this weekend, and the debut of the City Connect jersey tonight. I cannot wait. Hope to see y'all at the ballpark this weekend. Follow us on Twitter if you can't make it for all the action, at Locked On Brewers. I'm at Dom_Catronio myself. Thank you for listening. Have an amazing weekend. We'll be back on Monday with a brand new episode, getting ready for that off day. But Blue Jays are in town. Here we go. Toronto and Milwaukee. The old AL days. Back at it here with some interleague play at American Family Field. Until Monday, keep on swinging.
You are Locked On Brewers, your daily Milwaukee Brewers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.